Hello, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to create the landing page for our public view, including header and footer. Okay, so in the last lecture, we created a lot of files and tried to prepare our folder structure. So first of all, in the app.component.html, I'm going to remove everything. And here, as this is the entry point of our application, so as we are also going to use the routing, so we must have to add the router outlet in the app.component.html because this is the area within which all of the child routes would be loaded. Now we also have to add header and footer component, but there is a problem. If we add the header and footer in the app.component.html, then both of those components would be visible in the admin view as well. But we know that the header and footer would be different for the admin view, so we don't want to use the same components for the admin and public. So in order to resolve that, we have to create another module inside the public folder. For that, let's create another module by running the command nggenerate m, and the name of the module is public, as it is going to be inside the public folder. So I will specify the path public, and I also need the routing file. For that, I will specify routing flag, press enter. Actually, I am not inside the front end folder, that's why it is not working. So let's go to the front end folder first, and now let's run this command again. And this time you would notice that the module has been created, but the problem is that it created a folder again with the name public. We don't want that. I want to generate files directly within the public folder. So for that, we have to pass another flag, flat. That would not create any child folder. Okay. So we have the public module and we have the routing module. Now I also need a public component. So for that, run the command nggenerate c public/public, and I need the flat files. So just pass the flat flag. Okay, now we have all of the files here, and let's go to the app.routes, and here I'm going to add my first route with the path empty string. And whenever there is nothing in the URL, you are on the root URL, then that's mean we would like to load the public module. So for that, I'm going to implement the lazy loading for the public module. So for that, add the load children property, and that will expect a callback function. This function will return the public module. So for that, we have to pass it the path of the public module in this way, and then we will resolve this promise, and from that then function we will return the class of that module. Okay, so for that, just you access the m.public module. Okay, that's it. So this is how you basically lazy load a module. So far you don't see anything here. So if you go to the public module or public routing.module, here we want that if nothing extra was provided in the URL, then we want to use the component public component in this way. Okay, now we can easily add our header and footer here for the public module. So you can simply add it here, but before that I need to add the header and footer components in the imports array here. So let's do that. Header component, make sure that you are importing, you are not using the admin header component, we should be using the different one. So same for the footer component. Okay, great. Now we are ready to use these components by using app-header, and similarly after that we need app-footer like that. Okay, now you can see that header and footer both components are showing here. After that, you know, we have multiple pages inside the public section like categories, posts, tags, and auth as well. So post will be loading directly in the root path. So for example, you want to load the categories module, that would be responsible for the category list and category detail pages. So for that, we have to add the router outlet here as well, because we want to load the routes within this public module. In order to make that possible, first of all, we need to go to the public.component.ts and we have to import router module in this way. And in the HTML, now you are able to add router outlet in this way. Okay. Now I also want to add the child route or children routes here. For that, I will add the children property and pass an array. And within that, I will further pass the paths that I want to use. Here, I need the path with the empty string and I want to load children. And we will again use the same format to lazily load the module that we want to load. Okay, we are already in the public folder and from here I want to import the post module. Okay, now it is lazily loading the post module. So if you are on the root URL and within the same route, because we have kept it empty, that's mean on the same route we also want to lazily load this at the same time. So at the same time this component is loading and this module is also being loaded. Now whatever component we will load within the child routes of this module, within the routes of this module, those components would also be loaded at the same time. So let me show you how. Go to the features folder, go to the posts folder, and here I would add path empty and I want to load a component, post list component. Okay, save it. Okay, now you can see post list component is being loaded when you're in the root directory. But if you want to show the post detail component page, you have to add another path or route in this way. Here I would add a path like post slash. Here we will define the route parameter with the name ID. Okay, if this is the format, then we will show the detail of this post and the component would be post detail component in this way. Okay, now let's try to add it here, post slash ID1, and now you can see we are getting the post detail component being loaded. This is how child routes work. Okay, our basic routing system has been implemented, so I think it's good to proceed from here. I will also implement the basic routing for the admin as well, so that we could make sure that everything is like we wanted. So for that, in the app routes, I will add another path in this way, path. Instead of empty string, this time I will load slash, I will add admin and then load children. And similarly, we will pass the path of the admin module. So far, the admin module is not generated yet, so we have to do that. For that, run the command ng generate m admin slash admin dash dash routing and dash dash flat. Press enter. Now we have the admin routing and the admin module generated. Now we need to create a component as well, ng generate c admin slash admin, and it should be flat without any extra folder. Okay, now in the admin.component I need to import the router module because I want to use the router outlet here to load the further admin related routes inside this component. For that, add router outlet. Okay, great. Now go to the admin routing file. So everything is 100% almost same like we did in the public folder. We just need different modules. So here I need to add the path, empty string, and load children, and then pass the component or module that you want to load. We are already in the admin module, so we don't want to do this. We have to use another module. So by default, we should be showing the posts. So for that, I will use the posts module. Okay, feature slash posts slash posts module, and here we will have the posts module in this way. So now let's try to access the admin route like this, and I don't see any text, but it is still on the admin route. So the reason why we are not seeing any text, because in the admin route this component is being loaded, but there is no text here. If you add something here, you should see it. Actually, we cannot see anything yet because in the admin routing.module, we are using this, but it should be the children of the main route. That would be path empty string, and here component should be the admin component, and there should be children. Now we will paste the path that we want to have. Okay, now if you add something in the admin component, you should see the text like this. Okay, now we have the router outlet. This component is also loading. This router outlet has been loaded, so all of the child routes should also be loaded. So that's mean this child route has been loaded, and it is now trying to load the post module. So let's go to the post module and see what we have there. Here we have the post routing, and here I will add a further route, and the component would be in this case be the post list component by default. Okay, now you can see if you try to access, it will show the post list component. Okay, but if you want to access the editor page for the post, you have to pass the post /id in the URL. So whatever you will define here would be added after the parent route. This is the parent route and these are the child routes. So you don't have to add the admin here every time. It will automatically assume that you are talking about this. Okay, now here I will use the post editor folder. Actually, this time we don't have any module, so we should not lazily load it. I will simply use the component post editor component. Okay, now let's try to add something here, post /id, and you can see that post editor text is visible. That's mean that specific component is being loaded. So this is how we have implemented the nested routing with parent and child routes. Okay, I think this is sufficient to proceed further. So let's go back to the main route and we will start building our header. I will add a commit here quickly just to mention that this is a basic routing we have added. Basic routing added for public and admin. Now quickly design our header and footer for the public. So search for the header component that is currently in the public core folder. Now let's add a main div, and I will add a div for the logo, and after that we need a div for the menu items. Okay, save it. Now we have to add some flex styling here to display everything in the horizontal direction. For that, add class. As you know, we are using the Tailwind CSS, so just add flex and save it. You will see everything is horizontally aligned. Now I want justify space between, save it. Okay, you can see now it has pushed everything to the right. There is a space between both of these divs. Okay, there is a class container that I just added and it limited the width of this div. So you can also add the margin auto, m-auto, save it. Now it is in the middle. Actually, I should have added another div here between this main div, and we should have given this width limitation to this child div in this way, because I want to add some background color and some border to the main div that should have no width limit on it. So now we can move the flex property to this child div, and here I will add the bg white, and border bottom should be, let's try from the 2 pixels for now. Okay, and the height should be maybe 50 pixels. Okay, and the border width should be 1 pixels. Okay, and also here let's add height to full of its parent and items center to bring everything in the middle vertically. And now here I will add class space. We want horizontal space between every link. So for that I will add space x2. You can increase the space by increasing the number in this way. Save it. Okay, now it's looking much better than before. Also go back to the public HTML. Here I want to wrap everything within the div, and here I would like to add bg gray. Let's try this shade. Okay, currently the height is not full, so for that I will add h full. Maybe if that did not work, then we will use h100 vh, that means view height. Okay, that would definitely take all of the space of the view screen. Now let's reduce the shade of the gray color to this, or maybe it should be 100. And the text color of the links in the header should be light gray. So let's go to the header.component, and here you can simply add the text gray. Maybe this is too light, or maybe 700. Let me try 600. I think this is now fine. I'm basically trying to follow this design, so it would not be 100% same, but we're just trying to get inspiration from this design to follow some of the design features like header. So we already have the background color, we have the header with the white background, and the height is a bit more than we have right now. So for that I will make it to 80. Okay, maybe it should be 70. Okay, I think this is fine. Now we need to add the colors to the logo. So here you can add my blog or whatever, and let's add some styling. Text 5XL, and text should be blue. Let me see all of the shades that we have here. You can also hard code the text color as well. So if you want to use exactly same color as we have here, you can just extract it from the inspect element like this. This is the color that I would like to use. We just copy that and paste it here. Save it. That did not work because we need the other format for the color code. So for that, let's add a color property here, or bg background. The reason I did that because it will allow me to click on this icon for the color. If you click on that, it has the color picker icon. If you click on that, you can hover on any part of your layout and you are able to click on that. That will give us the code for that color. Okay, just paste it here and we got the color. Now I can just reload it to get rid of my styles. Okay, now let me decrease the text size. Okay, I think this is fine. I just need to make it bold. So to make it bold, I will use font bold or extra bold, whatever you want. Save it. Okay, the logo is bold now. All right, now let's style our footer. Footer should be to the bottom. So we want the container for the post list to automatically consume the remaining space. So let's see how we can do that. So go to the public, and we already have the height of 100 VH. Here I will add the flex, and flex direction should be column. Okay, now let's inspect this part, what we can do with it. So here we have the div, we have the app posts list. So we can directly target that, or we can wrap it in a div. And here you can add class, grow, save it. Okay, now let's see what is happening here. So if you inspect it, you will notice that this has a flex column direction, and this is the header, and this div has the flex grow. It will automatically consume all of the available space, and within that, app post list is on the top. So with the help of this approach, our footer is now sticking to the end of the page. Okay, so this is what we wanted. Now it's time to design our footer. Our footer would be very simple. Will not make it too complex. So for that, let's go to the footer, and in the footer I will add my first div, and here we need a logo section, and then we need a copyright section. You can just copy this. We will replace with our actual text. That would be my blog. Okay, save it. Now we need to add flex so that we could display everything in the horizontal direction like this, and also we need it in the middle. So for that, I will cut it and move it into a child div, and here I will add container, save it. With that will limit the width of the footer, and now I can add m auto. That will bring everything in the middle. Okay, also I want some gap. So for that, use a spacing x6. You can change that as well. We also need some height for our footer. For that, I will add h 40 maybe. 40 is too much. Let me just hard code the custom value. That would be 50 pixels. Okay, I think that is acceptable. Also, the text or font size should be smaller. For that, I will simply add class text sm. That will make it smaller, or you can make it xsm. XS. Okay. Now after that, you can add some links to the right side. So for that, we have to wrap it in another div, paste it here, and I need to add class flex here as well. And we have to move the space x dash 6 into this div, save it, and now here I will add justify between, because I'm going to add another div here that should be pushed to the right side of the layout like this. Okay, but this should be the anchor tags. Okay, so I will select all of these divs, save it. Okay, and I can add the href. All right, our footer is almost ready. Now it's time to design the post list component. So go to the post list component, and here actually I want to limit the width of for all of my components within between the header and footer. So for that, you can simply go to the public component.html, and here you can add container class, save it, and here you will add m auto. Okay, this will limit the width, and every content, every page would be starting from this position. Okay, now go back to the post list component, and here I will add my div, and it should have the child divs. Every div would be the container for the post. So every post, for now our post has no images, so I will just skip that part, but every div should have the text like title, and let me just copy paste this sample text. Okay, so this is the title, and here we need the author name, and then we need the date and time. So it can look like this, July 9 2024. Okay, save it. I'm currently in the wrong component, that's why nothing was visible, so sorry about that. I'm going to cut it from here, and let's go to the correct file, that is post list component in the public. Okay, paste everything here, save it. Now it is showing the div, but before that I need to add some padding on the top and bottom. For that, add a class py should be 10 maybe. And now let's create an array of the posts. So post is equal to empty array, and here every array will have, in array every item would be an object with id 1, title post 1, and content should be this. And let me look at my database structure. So in the posts table we have title, content, and user id, and created at. Okay, save it. Okay, now we need to add multiple objects just to display the data in the UI. Save it. Now let's go to the HTML. I am going to wrap everything inside the for loop. So for that, just cut it from here and type for post of posts and track post.id and paste this div. Now you will notice that this is being repeated. The direction of this repetition should be horizontal. So for that, I will add flex. Actually, instead of using flex, I would prefer to use grid here, and you can specify how many columns you want. We want, I guess, 2 columns or 3 columns. Okay, and also let's add the grid simply. Okay, you can see it has divided our layout into the 3 columns automatically. Okay, but the problem is that there is no gap between these posts. So for that, I need to add a gap of 10 maybe. That did not work. So actually I did not use the correct spelling. Okay, now we have the proper gap between every post. So it's time to now add some design to every post. So here I will add class bg white and border radius, or you can use rounded 3xl. that will add the border radius. 3xl is too much, I guess. Let's add xl. Okay, now we need some padding around it. So for that I need px, that's mean in the x direction, that is horizontal, that can be 10 maybe, and the py should be 5. Okay, now the title should be the bold and maybe in the larger font. So let's add some style here as well. Font extra bold, save it, and I'm going to increase the text size as well, text XL. Okay, and there should be margin bottom below every title, so MB4, and let me add the a tag here instead of the div. Add the href, and here for the date I need to add some margin top, and also I need to decrease the text size, so text sm would do the job. Also the text color for the date should be light gray, so for that let me add text gray to this maybe. Yes, that looks better. Okay, now I need to add a global style, so I open the style.scss or go to the public scss, because this is the parent for all of the public child routes or components. So I need to add a style here in this way that it could affect all of the anchors inside the public module. So for example, I want to style all of the a tags and maybe I would say color red. You will notice that it will not affect. The reason is that it cannot change the child component styles. For that I need to add, now here you have to add ng-deep. If you do that, so this specific style would be applied to all of the child components as well. Otherwise, because of the shadow DOM, it will not be able to affect them. I'm configuring the prettier to format it. Okay, now you can see that it is able to style all of the child components, but the color should be the blue, the same color that we have for the logo. So let's select that, copy it and paste it here. Okay, but these styles only for the post or post detail pages. So I will add a class post, and within post we need to style it to the a tag. Right now there is no post class, so go to the post list component, and here I'm going to add a class post like that. In this way it will target only the links that are inside the post class. Okay, also there should be an underline. For that I will add class underline, and the text should be xm, text should be sm. Okay, great. Now all of these divs should be clickable, so this div should also be the anchor tag because we want to make it clickable. Save it. Now we need to add some classes here like block. Okay, and also the text should be black. It is not working, so we have to add exclamatory sign here to make it important. So instead of making it pure black, I can make it the shade of black, maybe by using gray 950 or 800. I think this is now acceptable. And here let me add the href like this, and if you click on that, it should take to the post detail page. So let me actually add the router link. Okay, but before that I need to import the router module because I want to use the router link directive. So add the router link module in this way, and simply now instead of using href I will use router link. Actually, let's add the square brackets around the router link, and here pass the post slash, use a single quote, post slash, and here concatenate it with the post.id. Okay, save it. Now if you hover on any of these on the bottom left side, you will notice that there is id attached with every link. So if you click on any of these, it will take you to that specific page. Okay, now if you click on the logo, it should take you back to the home page. So for that, go to the public header HTML, and here I need to import the router link like this. So that actually I need to import the router module so that I could use the router link directive on my logo. Okay, make it a tag, and here I will add the router link, and it should take you to the home page. Now if I click on that, you will notice that it redirected me back to the main page. Okay, by the way, this is not responsive yet. When you reduce the screen size, it should reduce the number of columns. So for that, go to the post list.component.html, and here you can say that this sizing should be for the MD breakpoint. MD means medium screen size. Okay, whenever your screen size is less than the medium, it will start showing in the one column layout. Okay, but we have more specifications. So for example, instead of MD, I want to use LG here. Maybe save it. So, or maybe should be XL. Okay, instead of that, I wanted to add extra large. Okay, now if the width is less than extra large, then it will show one column automatically. And here I can try MD grid calls. So from the medium devices, the devices that are of size medium or more than that should display total 2 columns. And if the size is XL or more than XL, then it should show the 3 columns. Let's see how it behaves. Okay, great. Now if it reaches to the SM, then grid calls should become 1. Okay, or maybe you don't need to mention that at all, it will automatically fall back to that behavior. So let's see. Okay, you saw that when the screen size is too less, then it automatically displayed one column for us. Okay, it is now responsive. So now we have the header, footer, and the landing page, and also the single page routing is working. The ID is being passed. In the next video, we will try to complete the post detail page and the comments section for the detail page, and then we will implement the category pages and the tag pages. And once all of these required pages are done, then we can start implementing the API integration with our front end. Okay, so in that case, it will show the real data instead of the static data. Alright, that's all what I wanted to cover in this lecture. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions or concerns, then please mention them in the comments section below. I would do my best to reply them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next lecture.